earth, fire, wind, water, and heart. By your powers combined, I am Daniel Bryan. Alright, guys.
Welcome to the Weekly Wrestling Cast.
I'm Nick the Iceman.
And I'm Danny Marvelous.
And let's just dive into the news.
Yeah. So I got one thing that I'm going to save for the news until we get to it because it directly ties into something else that happened this week. But we'll get there. But yeah, so the first thing we have is unfortunate news. Former WWE Tag Team Champion Tommy Dynamite Kid Killington unfortunately passed away. Seemed like it was a long history of illness and stuff like that, but it's still very sad. I know lots of people in the industry grew up watching him and they molded their careers after him, so yeah. But on a lighter side, Alexa Bliss is in the news because she's been cleared for light work. So she's in the Performance Center and she's taken some small bumps in the Performance Center, but nothing major. Probably still going to be a little while before we see her again, but she is actively in the ring now. So, once again, for the fourth time this year, Raw hits its lowest ever rating.
Really?
So 4 times this year, it has been reported that Raw hit its lowest rating ever.
I didn't think this week's was that bad, though.
This week's wasn't that. It doesn't help. Well, you got to figure tons of people are like, well, I watched last week and that was crap, so I'm not watching this week. So
fair enough.
Yeah. Matt Hardy revealed that he is not retired and that he could come back soon. Specifically, he did some call-outs in Twitter in kayfabe, basically calling out Baron Corbin, being like, somebody that is righteous and courageous should be running Raw, like, you know, as this character.
Ooh,
and that would be amazing.
I would love to see Matt Hardy added to this whole Raw Civil War situation.
Mm-hmm. It'd be so good. There was a rumored return of a old pay-per-view concept. So the King of the Ring, it was old pay-per-view. They got rid of it a long time ago. But it's rumored that they're going to bring it back, but with a twist, Queen of the Ring.
Okay.
Yep. So no confirmation on that, but yeah, it's something that I would be very interested in. And lastly, unfortunately, Hanson of the War Raiders is injured. If you watch NXT, they announced that he got injured during the War Games match.
Pretty substantially.
Yeah. Broken ribs, ruptured spleen, and torn ligaments. It's like, woof, that dude laid his body on the line for that match. But yeah, so, and then we'll get to the last thing when we get to it.
All right.
So let's get into Monday Night Raw.
Okay, so like I said earlier, Raw wasn't as bad this week as it was last week.
Oh, by far, not nearly that bad. There's still a lot of issues.
It doesn't take a whole lot to beat last week.
Yeah, there's still a lot of issues, but I think I very much enjoyed this episode, actually.
So it starts with Ronda and Natalya versus Nia Jax and Tamina. They set up this tag team match.
Yeah.
And before the match can get started, they get jumped.
Yeah, Nia Jax comes out and she's talking herself up and stuff, but then yeah, they get jumped before Natalya and Ronda get in the ring. So.
And then the Riot Squad causes a brawl, basically.
Yeah, and they put Natalya through a table. Which was, that looked great. This was good, though. Yeah, I like this. I don't like Nia Jax and Tamina all that much, but
I cannot stand Nia Jax right now.
I'm not into it, but yeah.
So then after that, we had the second open forum.
Why?
I actually did not mind this one that much.
I didn't really mind it, but it just like
it's one of those things that is obviously scripted. And, I mean, I didn't dislike the content. It was kind of cheesy, and I feel like they're making the faces bullies for some reason.
Yeah.
Especially because we've been seeing, with this being, in my opinion, the first, concrete example, about how Alexa Bliss is kind of, she's still a heel, but it almost looks like she's putting certain things above her being a heel, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the Alicia Fox, Mickie James, and Dana Brooke rush the ring again.
Yeah, of
and
course.
Alexa Bliss stops them and was like, guys, stop. I told you can't do this. If you want to fight, we'll have a match.
Which
Just stop.
Yeah.
Stop doing this.
Yeah, and so she does set up a match.
Which I feel like is good, and it kind of earns points for me with this whole Alexa Bliss running things for the women.
Fuck Dana Brooke though, I guess.
I mean,
because all of a sudden she's like, Dana, you have to go find something else to do. Meanwhile, Alicia and Mickie are gonna have a match with Sasha and Bailey right now.
She kind of got thrown in there out of the blue.
Yeah,
anyways.
I was like, what the? I mean, if you're on TV, you're on TV, but still.
So then that match happens. It's Sasha Bailey versus Mickie and Alicia.
Yeah.
And there's, I put in my notes Nintendo Switch sellout because literally the first minute and a half of the match is in a little window while they do a Switch ad. It's not like they're showing a replay or anything. Like they're putting the match to the side for an ad.
Yeah. This was honestly, this match was.
I mean, the match wasn't that outstanding, but that's for the fans to decide.
Yeah, exactly.
To me, it felt like the WWE going, yeah, who cares about this match? We'll just throw an ad in.
Yeah, exactly. So why should I care? Yeah, that's the whole thing.
They've been doing that with editing so much lately, and it's been upsetting me. Like last week where they cut someone's intro for the match, then have a promo in between, and then have the second person's intro.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, guys, just run the whole match. You could put that promo first. I don't know. Just stuff like that is kind of... It doesn't necessarily break kayfabe for me or anything, but it just kind of...
It felt weird.
It feels bumpy.
Yeah.
Which where they could have a smooth road. They've just made it bumpy for no reason.
Sasha and Bailey end up winning that match, though. So.
And then afterwards, Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey have a heated discussion backstage.
Yeah, basically, Ronda wants a match. She wants to get her hands on Nia and Tamina.
And Alexa Bliss was going to let her, and had even said she'd help find her a partner, and Ronda didn't want any part of that.
She's like, no, you're not doing that. I'll find my own partner. So, then we have Lucha House Party.
I have never in my life disliked luchadors. I am starting to.
Oh, this is really bad.
This is the third week in a row that the Lucha House Party has blatantly cheated, first off.
Yeah.
Second off, this is the third time that they fought the Revival. I mean, this was a 3v1. Which is stupid.
Absolutely.
But they even, I feel like they're just undermining... I feel like the Revival got handed one script, and everyone else had a second script.
Yeah.
Because the Revival came out, both times they cut promos, they were good, and they were like, you're disrespecting our wrestling, we're going to show you how it's done.
Yeah.
And then they're just out the window, Lucha House Party, screw them over, turn it, win. Cool, Lucha House Party wins again through cheating.
Yeah. So stupid.
And no one cares.
The face announcers are even cheering this on.
And then 20 minutes later in the episode, they're like, oh, 3v1, that's egregious. I can't believe it.
The later it happens again, and they act like it's a horrible thing, and it's like, there's no continuity here with that. So
exactly.
It's really not.
They're really not acting like faces.
Yeah, it's really bad.
So, needless to say, Lucha House Party wins because it's 3v1.
Yeah, it's like, here's the thing. So, Lucha House Party comes over from 205 Live. We're all super excited about it. Those of us that watch 205 Live are big fans of Lucha House Party.
And they feel like two different groups.
Yeah, and now they do this, and we all are like, oh gosh, we watch 205 Live, and when Lucha House Party comes out, it's like, because it's tainted. And they are two different, it's like they are two different groups, but they have the same name, and so when I see Lucha House Party, I'm like, now, instead of where I was. They ruined the Lucha House Party.
It's one of those things where it's like what they were doing with The Bar and New Day, except the matches aren't as entertaining.
Yeah.
And you can tell, this is a perfect example on how, New Day in The Bar, or Dolph and Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen The Bar and the New Day and Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler go at it several times.
A bunch of times, yeah.
And and eventually we're like, okay, we'd like something new.
Yeah.
But the matches have all been good.
Yeah, even last week when we had the Dolph Ziggler Seth Rollins match, we still praised that match. Like,
and it's all been good, and it just kind of goes to show that if you don't have the right chemistry, it doesn't matter how many times they fight, it's just not going to do it.
Yeah, and this is not working. We need something different with both these groups.
So then after that, we have probably my favorite part of the night.
I really like this.
They had Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night, where Baron Corbin's like, hey, listen, guys, Drew McIntyre's essentially beat the snot out of everyone I've had an issue with.
Yeah.
And Kurt Angle's gone, so we need someone new to have a medal. Here, Drew McIntyre, have this shiny gold medal.
Yeah.
And he rips the mic from Corbin and starts cutting this promo about how he's like, see, I told you I was going to come here and kick ass and take names and weed out the weak. And it's a really good promo. And they show a video package of basically him stomping everybody he's fought.
All of his big highlights.
And then we hear, I'm here to rule the world. I'm here to rule the
Dolph
world.
Ziggler comes out and he's like, hey, man, like, I didn't see me in any of that video package. I did a whole lot. I've been part of this whole thing since you arrived.
And then Drew McIntyre's like, I basically just used you to get a position.
Yeah, exactly.
And then used you as a platform to get where I'm at.
It's like, honestly, you did nothing. Like, this was all me anyway. I was not only the brawn, but I was also the brains.
And then Dolph loses it and starts beating on him.
It's with the zigzag. And I was like, holy crap.
Oh,
Finally pulled the trigger on
I
this.
have been waiting for this feud for so long.
I think a lot of us have, and now that we're finally getting it, I'm really excited.
Ugh.
And, he hits a zigzag, and he rolls out the ring. McIntyre's holding his head and stuff, and he's
And then they have a match.
Yeah, and then Corbin's like, hey, you don't just get to come in here and do that. There's a match now.
And he gets help from, of all people, Finn Balor.
Ooh, yeah. So, first off, this match was dope.
Oh, yeah, this match was insane.
Oh, it was so good.
Which I'm not surprised, because like we
guys
said
are amazing,
before, me
yeah.
and you have talked about how good these guys are in the ring.
Yeah. It's not surprising how good this match was. But yeah, Finn Balor comes out, interrupts, and then when the ref ain't looking, he hits a drop kick on Drew McIntyre. And then Drew McIntyre struggles to get in before the 10 count. He stands up and pow! Gets hit with a super kick right in the face. 1, 2, 3. Dolph Ziggler wins, giving McIntyre his first loss since being brought up to the main roster.
And I'm sure this is just going to just add so much heat to this
I'm really
feud.
excited for this, too.
I'm excited to see where this goes as well.
Plus, think about, how nobody thought that when this feud was eventually going to happen, that Dolph Ziggler was going to come out looking like the guy on top.
Yeah.
At least not this. And, of course, as we go on, it might not turn out that way.
Well,
but
I'm also excited to see what they do with Dolph Ziggler, because they're obviously setting up battle lines here with, Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, a few others on one side, Jinder Mahal, and then the other side you have Finn Balor, Elias, Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman when he comes back.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious if they're going to, if Dolph Ziggler's going to pick a side, or if he's just going to kind of be his own enigma.
Mm-hmm. I'd really like for them to build this feud to WrestleMania.
Oh, that would be so dope.
Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre.
Give Drew McIntyre the title, and then have it be a title match.
Woo! That would be good, too.
Oof. So, next we have Elias, which I love, because face Elias is so good.
He's really amazing.
So he starts, his thing. He gets some riffs off. He addresses the crowd a little.
And then
just walk with Elias. And then Bobby Lashley comes out and does that
out
stupid ass pose where he just bends over.
It's really lame.
And smacks his own ass and looks like a fucking idiot.
Seriously, who thought this was good? But yeah,
And then Corey Graves delivers one of the most savage lines I have ever heard on commentary and says, and I quote, Elias's music is so bad, Paul McCartney wants to join the rest of the Beatles.
Holy crap.
He said that and my jaw hit the floor.
It was
oh my god.
So is a savage.
They have their thing going. There's not a match, but they kind of like...
Yeah, they tussle a little bit. Eventually, Elias gets a small upper hand, and he grabs his guitar.
Yeah, and then Bobby Lashley paces out at this point.
And so he's
then
all of a sudden...
Leo Rush gets thrown up on the runway.
Yeah, we're like, whoa, what's Leo Rush doing?
Where'd he come from, Danny Marvelous?
Yeah, Finn Balor.
With the assist a second time.
Grabbed him and threw him up onto the main floor.
Playing the smart face yet again.
Yes,
I'm
love it.
Happy that they're doing this with Finn Balor.
Same. And Elias takes his opportunity and smashes his guitar on Leo Rush. And it was a brutal hit.
Yeah.
That one looked rough.
So then after that, we cut backstage to this really weird kind of promo. It wasn't really a promo. It was just like a cutaway, but it was still really weird.
Right.
Started with Jinder Mahal being like, I can handle Finn Balor for you, Baron Corbin. And it's like, can you? Jobber number 3? Can you handle Finn Balor? So he lets him have the match. And then Heath Slater and Rhino show up?
Yeah.
And he's like, by the way... You two are gonna be in a match, and if whoever loses is fired.
Yeah, because we don't have enough room in the budget for both of you.
Which I literally feel like Rhino just wanted to retire, and they were just like, let's use this to make Baron Corbin even more of an asshole.
All right. But yeah, so then we had Bobby Roode going up
Bobby
against
Roode
Drake
versus
Maverick.
Drake Maverick, air quotes.
And, match starts. Obviously, Roode is in control for most of it.
I wanted to actually ask you about this. Wasn't Drake Maverick like a wrestler at one point?
I think so. I'm pretty sure he was. And so...
He sure didn't seem like it.
No, he's definitely playing up the manager, not a wrestler anymore angle. But,
so, like you said, Bobby Roode gets the upper hand.
But then all of a sudden you see that screen change.
Which, as soon as the screen lit up, I was just like, oh great, what the hell are we getting this time?
AOP just beating the ever-living crap out of Chad Gable backstage.
And once he's down, Baron Corbin kind of leans into frame and is like, by the way, I made it a 3v2 handicap match. Go get him, boys.
Yep. And so they run out, and of course at that point it's basically a 3-on-1.
Bobby Roode just is in a mad dash to try to get the 3 count on Drake Maverick before AOP gets out there.
Unfortunately, he does not get it.
And then we don't really have to say what happens after that.
Yeah, AOP destroys them. Gable even comes out, tries to help, but no. It's all beaten. Drake Maverick demands the tap in, and they tag him in, and he pins Bobby Roode. And so, honestly, this isn't the worst thing I've ever seen.
I mean, I didn't think it was too bad. I don't know. I wasn't a fan. I just don't like this whole storyline.
Agreed, but no piss jokes this time.
Fair.
And thank God for that.
After that, we got a weird and surprisingly good bit.
I like this.
So first off, Dean Ambrose has a new intro, which is dope, by the way. It starts off with, like, air raid sirens.
Yeah, exactly.
And then...
security comes out, and they're all
wearing... like 6 SWAT team members come in with gas masks. And then Dean Ambrose comes walking down the runway looking like Bane from Dark Knight Rises. He's got the gas mask, the coat with the fur on it.
Boots with the fur.
Oh, man. So he comes strutting down to the ring looking like a comic book villain. He gets into the ring, starts cutting a promo, and realizes we can't hear shit. So then he just ditches the mask.
Yeah, which, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I understand, like, obviously he did that for a reason. But, like, I was like, you gotta come out here with feeling like you need a gas mask,
and then
immediately just take it off.
Yeah.
Like,
so then he takes the mask off and cuts a promo. It's a damn good promo.
Yeah. He didn't want to. All of a sudden, the Shield changed. Rollins and Reigns became more obsessed with becoming role models.
This is the promo we've needed from Dean Ambrose. It's to the point. The exact reason why he feels like. it's not him that's turned his back on the Shield. It's them who turned their back on the Shield.
Yeah.
When they tried to become
something that the Shield was.
Essentially, when they tried to become faces and tried to become likable and like a wrestler of the people.
Exactly.
He's like, that's not why we formed the Shield. That's not why we're here doing what we're doing.
Damn right. Yeah.
And it was such a good promo.
And then out comes Seth Rollins.
You know, like you do.
And it was basically like the last beatdown, except for no low blow.
And he had the gas mask and just beat him with the gas mask a little bit.
So, of course, because of that...
Adds a little bit more fire to it.
It just adds a little bit more heat to the feud.
I think the promo was the main meat of this whole section.
It was really good.
And then at the end of it, Renee snaps at Corey a little bit.
Yeah.
When he's like, come on, Renee. We've been over this. We've been doing this for weeks now. You got to tell us something. And she's like, you know what? Maybe you should mind your own business.
Yeah, and I'm glad she did because I was like... Because, like, every time they go to Renee, it's obvious that they're like, hey, Renee, how about you tell us what's going on? And it's like, no, like, bug off. Like, it's none of your business.
Exactly. I'm glad it happened.
Me too. And
then afterwards we got, this is going to, again, I say, Nia Jax promo, we have some shit to unpack, just like last week.
Oh, I forgot to write this down in my
so
notes.
I forgot about this. They cut back to Nia Jax and Tamina, and she's like, Charlie is back there. And she's
Charlie
like,
Caruso.
She's like, hey, so what do you think about Ronda Rousey looking for a tag team partner? We've got some leaks that we think we might know who it is. What do you think? Mm-hmm. And she's like, I was kind of hoping it was you, Charlie. And it's like, what the fuck? What?
Why are you picking a fight with Charlie?
What kind of response is that?
Yeah.
Like, it's... I may sound like dumb for saying it like this, but it's like, you know, it obviously won't be Charlie.
Yeah,
like, what
seriously, like, it was really bad.
That was her first line of the promo, and I was like, oh boy, starting out strong here with Nia.
Starting out real strong.
So then she was like, Charlie was like, it's Ember Moon. Big shocker. I was like, there's no way it's not going to be not Ember Moon. So then she was like, you know why we beat up Ember Moon from behind? So we don't have to see a face. But tonight in the ring, we're going to see a face. So we got to rearrange it. It's like, what? And then she's like, and then I'm going for Ronda to take my title, take back what's mine. And then shrieks into the microphone. I was listening to this with headphones on, and I thought my head was going to explode.
Yeah, this was horrible. So,
oh my god, she's gotten so much shit for that, as she should.
So here's the thing: there's lots of like, you're acting, you want to hype up the crowd. I get it. Every single wrestler knows you don't freaking scream into.
Or if you do, you back up.
Yeah, you don't scream point blank into a live mic.
So here's the thing.
Guess what? It makes that sound.
And you could hear feedback and it cracked.
Ooh, it was bad.
And she is, in the past month and a half, it feels like she's broken so many of the most basic rules of being a wrestler.
Yeah. It's
like
really
all of
bad.
the things she's messed up are like first grade shit. Now listen, I've never trained to be a wrestler.
Yeah,
I think it would be cool to do someday.
Yeah,
but I haven't personally done that yet, so I technically don't really know. But a lot of this stuff seems like first grade. You don't scream into the mic. You
don't actually
punch someone in a easily throwable punch.
Yeah,
you work on your in-ring stuff so you don't botch things every match. Like,
you don't almost kill half the women's roster.
And the thing with Ember Moon's husband.
Oh yeah, So Ember Moon's husband.
Was this the last bit of news?
No. But we can talk about it. So later on, of course that match happens, and Ember Moon's husband during this match tweets out, "Man, hope this threat to she doesn't hurt my wife again."
Hope this.
Yeah,
like it was harsh. I don't know if the word bitch was used.
It wasn't, but it was.
But it was essentially that.
It was. It was pretty harsh.
It was mean. Basically, like, hope this person doesn't hurt my wife again.
Yeah,
and everyone and then almost immediately deleted the tweet. Like, it was up for a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
And everybody's response was, again?
Yeah, because we hadn't heard about any injury to Ember Moon from Nia Jax. Like, that's not something.
But it's obviously, like, this is someone in the WWE Universe acknowledging that people in the WWE Universe are even like, Nia Jax, fix your shit.
I mean, yeah. And so, honestly, Nia Jax got a lot of heat from the Becky thing. And it feels like because of that, WWE saw an opportunity to push her. But to me, it feels like rewarding incompetence.
Yeah, exactly. It's a double-edged sword because, like, from the WWE standpoint, like, from the management and, like, the higher-ups, they're like, oh, we get to make money off this.
Yeah.
Because people hate her.
Yeah.
We can throw so much heat on her and push her and people will react and it'll be great. But to everybody in the locker room, they're like, she fucked up something basic and we're going to put her on a pedestal?
Yeah, and granted, things happen in the ring, I get it. But this is almost a pattern of behavior.
Yeah, it sounds like from the way things are coming out of the woodwork here that this obviously isn't the first time this has happened.
Yeah.
And I hope it's the last, but it probably, let's face it probably won't be.
Yeah, and
who's going to get hurt next and how bad? Like, we've seen people's careers end with this kind of stuff.
Yeah. And it's tough too because, you know, if you're on the indies and there's a dangerous wrestler, somebody that's constantly putting someone in danger, there's ways that, you know, the locker room takes care of that. They refuse to fight that person. They do that. You don't really have that in WWE. You fight the person they tell you to fight. If you don't, you're probably out of there. So
I just hope she either gets buried to the point where she's not wrestling as much or fixes her in-ring ability to some extent before someone else gets seriously hurt.
You need something different, and frankly, being The Rock's actual cousin doesn't.
Like, don't get me wrong, you're probably a great person in real life, Nia Jax, but...
Oh, yeah, I'm sure she's actually very nice.
I don't mean to sound like I'm personally attacking you. I am just scared that someone's going to get seriously hurt.
Yeah, this has gotten pretty bad. So, yeah, then we had Heath Slater and Rhino.
Yeah, this match was sad.
Yeah, so whoever wins keeps their jobs. It's really quick. Rhino gets a couple good hits in first, but then surprise, neck breaker from...
I think it was a neck breaker,
from Heath Slater, 1, 2, 3, and so he wins. And
here's the thing about this match. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, so this was the last piece of news.
Okay.
Is that after this match happened, Rhino, off-screen, by the way, Rhino legitimately announced his retirement to the WWE Universe, and I'm like...
They did it during a commercial, so only the people at the live shows got to see it.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Rhino has had a really long and really good career. I feel like we could have given him more of a ceremonious send-off.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's, like, Hogan level or anything like that. But like you said, he has accomplished a dozen at least things. Like he's accomplished a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's been in the wrestling business for a very long time. So,
and I feel like they kind of just shoot him out the door.
Yeah, that was it was so
like
weird.
Even for people who aren't like super high name or high profile, they'll usually like give him a minute in the ring and be like. And it'll be televised, and they'll be like, "Thank you, Rhino," or like whatever, whoever is retiring. And it's a nice. It breaks kayfabe a little, but I mean, someone's retiring.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
they should be acknowledged for all the things they accomplished. Yeah. And to me, especially after hearing that, they were basically like, I don't even know if he knew that it wasn't televised.
Yeah, it was sad. But yeah, so then. Obviously, we wish the best for Rhino in the future.
And then they just do Heath Slater dirty immediately after.
I actually so let's talk about this. So Heath Slater comes back and Corbin's like, "Hey, congrats on winning. Let me get your new uniform." And he's like, "New uniform?" And it turns out it's the ref uniform. He's like, "I think you're going to be a great ref. You're not staying on as a superstar. You're staying on as a ref." And here's the thing. I am actually pretty excited for this.
I mean, Heath Slater's always done a whole bunch of weird shit.
Yeah. And so
So I feel like this will be all right.
Yeah,
but,
Heath Slater always has done really well with goofy and weird storylines.
But I definitely feel like this was a kick while he was down.
It's
like, hey, you just had to eliminate your best friend. Oh, by the way, you're also a referee, not a wrestler.
Well, yeah, they're definitely still building that Corbin is the big heel guy.
So then after that, we have a squash match. That's just, I mean...
yeah. So Finn Balor fought Jinder Mahal.
And Jinder starts to get a little bit of an upper hand towards the end, but for the most part, it's a Finn Balor squash match.
Yeah. He gets an upper hand because of the Singh brothers.
Yeah. But then Apollo Crews!
Apollo Crews comes out. Man. And he beats up, the Singh brothers, which allows Finn Balor to get momentum and get the win on Jinder. And I like that baby faces are being smart.
I also hope that this is just another person that we can add to the list of team face for the Raw Civil War, essentially.
I am so excited about this storyline going forward because it is literally like the rebel group fighting the big bad, and it's being led by Finn Balor. Like, that's so exciting.
Like, see, this is the kind of stuff that I'm okay with them doing with Finn Balor and Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Because they had their several matches or whatever, so they, granted, it got kind of old after a while, but they used those matches to cement this rivalry between the two.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Baron Corbin is like, hey, I'm king shit, I'm running this place, Finn Balor comes out of nowhere and is like, hey, remember, I still hate your guts.
Yep.
And just is doing anything he can to try to overthrow him.
I love it. So then we had our final match, which was the Ember Moon Ronda versus Nia Jax Tamina. I have nothing to say about this.
I don't either. Ronda and Ember win. You can audibly hear Ronda calling moves throughout the entire match.
It was boring. It was a typical tag match. I've selected babyface, hot tag, babyfaces win.
Yup.
So yeah.
But overall, I gave Raw a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, it was not a bad show. There's lots of stuff that I dislike about it.
It was significantly better than last week.
But yeah, it was significant.
And overall, I wasn't a huge fan of it. But the stuff in Raw, the stuff that happened during Raw that I liked, I really liked.
Exactly. But yes,
they're putting a lot of seeds into motion that I hope will turn into really neat storylines.
And if those seeds bear fruit that we actually want, that's what we're looking for. Yeah, that's the first step to fixing Raw.
Yeah. So then we go
SmackDown,
and we start with a contract signing.
Yep, a women's championship signing. I loved this.
I really liked this too.
So good. And it's literally like rock paper scissors because, of course, Asuka was beaten by Charlotte, but then Becky beat Charlotte, but Becky's never beaten Asuka, and so
which was the whole kind of dynamic there where they were talking smack to each other, and then Asuka was like, "By the way, Becky, you've never beat me."
Yeah. And then Charlotte's like, well, I beat you, Asuka. And I love, she's like, you got lucky one night.
Yeah, that was so good.
I was like, ooh. And so they're teasing this, and then Absolution comes out. And they're like, hey, we want to prove our whatever. That we
got Moxie.
Yeah. And so it turns into Paige makes a tag match between Asuka and Charlotte versus Absolution.
Which goes alright. It basically went how I thought it was going to go.
Oh, exactly. But the end is what is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, the match is fine. Like, it's a standard match.
I mean, it very much reminded me of when AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan fought the Usos.
Okay, fair.
Where, there was some kind of... They worked together for the most part, but toward certain moments throughout the match, there was some kind of, really? You're gonna...
Yeah.
And you can see the tension.
But the difference is, in that one, it was quote-unquote accidental.
Yeah.
And later on, one of them says, actually, it was meant for you, or whatever. But
this was clearly an accident.
This was blatant. So, during the match, Flair gets hit by a Mandy Rose, and she turns around. Asuka pulls Mandy Rose off their apron, knocks her down, and climbs up. And Charlotte just boots her in the face.
Without even looking. Yeah,
still thinks it's Mandy Rose. But, she keeps fighting, and then she gets Sonya Deville
annihilated
in a lock. And Asuka just nails her with Charlotte in the face with a kick. She just rolls out. Sonya Deville rolls up Charlotte. 1, 2, 3. And Asuka's like, what? Oh no, we lost. Oh, what? Oh no. Who could have seen this happening?
Asuka just laid into her.
It was so
oh
good.
My god!
And of course, it sets up next week the rematch.
The WrestleMania
rematch.
I am
so excited.
I'm so excited that they're finally pushing Asuka.
This better be the main event of SmackDown next week.
I'm so excited because they're finally pushing Asuka.
Asuka and Charlotte was probably one of the best matches this year. So,
well, and like we were talking about, if they don't make that triple threat the main event of TLC, it's going to be a little sad.
It is going to be very sad.
So then after that, we get The Miz and Shane. Where The Miz is just like, come on, Shane, wrestle again. And he's like, no.
Yeah, it's basically, what they've been doing for the last few times.
So then we get a really cool match, actually.
I actually really enjoyed this.
It was Jey Uso versus Xavier Woods versus Cesaro in a triple threat.
Yeah, and this was really good.
Well, and I thought I heard them right. At TLC, they're doing a triple threat for the title, right?
Yeah.
But if I heard them correctly, it's not going to be like they've been doing before. 3 people are going to be in the ring at a time.
Oh, really?
I could have swore I heard him say all 3 teams would be represented at once.
Oh, that would be cool.
Which, is what you would think of in a triple threat tag team match.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I may have heard them wrong, so don't quote me on that, guys.
Yeah, we might be wrong about that.
But if I did hear them correctly, I am excited because that would be so cool.
Either way, I'm really looking forward to it. Whether it's that or triple threat tag
Honestly,
team matches
I kind of
awesome.
I don't want to call it now like you did with Io Shirai, just in case.
Yeah.
But I kind of see them giving it to Usos.
I would agree.
We'll see when we get closer, but they've been pushing the Usos real hard.
They really have been pushing them.
Speaking of, they did win this match, which will give them an advantage of some kind.
Yeah, I don't know.
They haven't said what it is yet, but they will have an advantage going into that match.
Or maybe he meant it like they have momentum now because
maybe. I'm not sure.
Anyway, there was that though. There was one spot that really shone through was the Cesaro spin.
Yeah,
where he's doing the helicopter spin on Jey Uso while Xavier Woods is hooked onto his back, and that move was great. And the crowd was going nuts at that point too.
They're very kind of cringy sometimes, but you can't deny that those guys are incredibly athletic.
Oh yeah. So
then we get Miz TV.
First off, doesn't start off without a hitch.
We get Miz TV with guest star Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
Which is something that I never thought I would see again because of how they set up feuds with them and everything.
Yeah.
So then Miz goes to start Miz TV and hears whoa 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 whoa
Miz.
It
was R-Truth and Carmella, and they're just like
Miz.
Dance break!
Do the dance break, and then R-Truth just goes, as you were, and they turn around and walk backstage.
Did you love this as much as I did? I saw some people online were like, thought this was lame, but I'm like, whatever. I really liked this
so much.
Whatever. This is their new gimmick, and I'm really enjoying it.
I love that he just, it would have been great regardless, but the fact that R-Truth's just like, as you were, and then they just turn around and leave. That's just
fantastic.
So
absolutely fantastic.
So then Daniel Bryan comes out. And I have in my notes a quote from Robot Chicken back in the day. And my foot in your balls, Captain Planet.
Yeah.
Because that very much is what this felt like.
Yeah, it really did.
Daniel Bryan comes out and, he starts talking about, how everybody's fickle. Yeah. Fickle.
Before we get to
Fickle.
Anyway, before we get to his weird change, like halfway through this, I'm really enjoying this because Miz is like, hey, all that stuff I've been saying for 8 years, you finally listened to me.
Oh yeah,
and now you're champion.
Yeah, this conversation was very well scripted.
Ooh, and then Daniel Bryan went after the what chance because he knew that the crowd was going to do him.
Yeah,
and so he's like, look, you're even saying what from some loser.
It's like a 20-year-old stupid gimmick.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh, damn.
And then he basically is like, everybody's polluting the planet, Captain Planet.
Yeah, and so he's basically like,
fix the environment,
carbon footprint and stuff like that.
Which is weird because I think we saw a YouTube video or something about it where they brought up that all of the heels have if you look at like the core, like their core mantra or like what they stand for, they're all pretty like valid things to be passionate about.
Yeah, this one being the big one. Obviously, lots of people were like, well, obviously we should be taking care of the environment and stuff.
Basically,
like
the consensus was, I mean, yeah, I agree with you, Dana Bryan. You just don't have to be such a dick about it.
So the reason why they're heels is not the things they're doing, but how they're going about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I really like this. Then AJ Styles interrupts.
And then Daniel Bryan just shoves the Miz into AJ Styles and is like, I'm out, and rolls out of the ring.
And they get into it a little bit, and AJ gets hit with the skull-crushing finale.
And then they have a match later.
Yeah, and then, so, we'll get to that.
So after that, we had a match I was upset about at first.
First I was like, really?
I was like, really? We're doing this again?
So, Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy again.
I didn't mind it, though, by the end.
It was standard match for these two, and it was fine.
Oh, my God. So I thought Samoa Joe was cerebral when he was antagonizing AJ Styles.
Ooh.
This showed it wasn't just a fluke.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He does a drinking PSA on Hardy.
Oh my God. Like it cuts, like the screen lights up and he's like, I'm here at the bar. I'm Samoa Joe with WWE.
Yeah.
You could have, when you go out every night, you could choose to have about 4 or 5 of these and have a good night. Or you could choose to have 14 and wake up in the hospital, Jeff. It was just like, ooh.
Seriously, it was rough. And
it was like, drink responsibly.
Yeah, and so the distraction allows him to get the Randy Orton to get the pin on Jeff Hardy. And of course, Samoa Joe goes in on him a little bit more. And I am so excited for this feud to continue.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
Samoa Joe is ruthless.
It is. I think it's a little weird that Rey Mysterio didn't show up. Because supposedly he's in Randy Orton are feuding right now, so like
it's whatever.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I was just surprised.
Yeah, but yeah. Then after that, we get the main event, which was Miz versus AJ Styles with Daniel Bryan on commentary.
Him on commentary was fantastic.
I liked it a lot.
Really leaning into this heel persona, and it's really good. I feel like
you can tell that he's been wanting to do this for a while.
Exactly.
Because he went 0 to 60 that quick. There was no like adjustment process. He just went off the deep end and is plunging into it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so then that was great. I could have swore that Miz was going to win this at one point.
Yeah.
Because he hits that skull-crushing finale. I was like, oh my
God,
is the Miz going to pin AJ Styles? He doesn't. And, like, granted, like, part of me was like, really? He got hit with 2 skull-crushing finales in one night and he's not down? But at the other hand, part of me was like, AJ Styles has one of the top 10 longest championship reigns ever.
Also, how many F5s did he take?
Yeah, so he's... If anybody can do that, it's him. AJ Styles ends up getting the win, but then Dana Bryan comes out and he just beats the crap out of him.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Just leaves him in the dirt.
And that move that Daniel Bryan's been doing where he holds up the arm and just stomps on their head is vicious.
It's so brutal.
Ooh. It looks horrible.
Right.
Like it looks good, but like it looks like it's really painful. But yeah, so then we go to our shows that we just kind of glaze over. I'll go through them real quick. Start with the Mixed Match Challenge, which there's only one more episode of for this season. So next week is the finale for the show, and then the end of it will be at TLC. So, started out with Jeff Hardy and Charlotte Flair versus The Fabulous Truth.
Oh, is that her new partner now?
Yeah, so AJ Styles isn't with him anymore.
Do we know why?
Well, we don't really know why, no.
Weird.
But yeah, so there's a couple good moves. There was a Miss Swanton bomb, leg hold slam. Oh yeah, there was a leg hold slam that was really weird, but really cool. And that Miss Swanton though allowed R-Truth to roll up Jeff Hardy. Fabulous Truth still in the game.
I hope they win.
I really do too. That'd be amazing.
Think about this. They come back. R-Truth comes back. Is basically a living meme.
Yeah.
Gets Carmella in his corner for the mixed match challenge.
Yeah.
They just Truth TV dance break their way to the end of the mixed match challenge, and then they both enter last and potentially think about if R-Truth wins the Royal Rumble. Do you realize how freaking nuts that would be?
It'd be so
if he
cool.
went in less from a year.
I
He
would
went
love
from
that.
a meme to title contention.
Yeah. Oh, that would be so good.
Oh my god!
I would love for the Fabulous Truth to win. But yeah, then we had Asuka versus Day One Glow, and so Miz and Asuka fought Jimmy Uso and Naomi. It was a fine match. There was a spot in it where they teased friction between Asuka and the Miz. Miz is like, because Asuka got pinned in the group stage, so the first group loss as a group. Because Asuka never lost in the first mixed match challenge. Their first loss came because of Asuka, supposedly. And so Miz is like, oh, I don't need to tag you in. And so he's like, literally just like, you did that. It's like, this is your fault that we lost that one time, so I'm not tagging you in. And so it just teases this the breakup of this group, which I think might play a part in the next fight. But it was decent, and Naomi ends up tapping out to the Asuka lock. So the teams that are left on the Raw side, Mahalisha versus B&B. So Finn Balor and Bayley. And then on the SmackDown side, Fabulous Truth and Asuka.
Oh man,
Woo. It's gonna be good.
I don't know who it'd be on SmackDown, but I don't see them not giving it to B&B.
Yeah, I don't either.
Especially because, no offense to them, but they're going against
Actually,
Mahalisha.
Actually, they might give it to Mahalisha.
Really?
So think about it this way: Finn Balor has a match at TLC. Against Drew McIntyre. They could give it to Mahalisha.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh, that would be... I would hate that.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, so then we had NXT UK. And,
that could mean that the match against Baron Corbin is going to be fucking short.
Yeah, his match is against Drew McIntyre.
Or Drew McIntyre, yeah. It could mean that one of the two matches is going to be short.
Yeah, exactly. So then, so we had NXT UK started out with, again, 2 episodes this week. I'm over the 2 episodes. It's too much content. And I never thought I'd say that. Anyway, Coffee Brothers and Wolfgang come out and basically just pump themselves up. They call out British Strong Style. And then Travis Banks comes out, and he's back from injury. Tries to take on, in a point of, like, he's like, they're like, hey, you want to fight? We're right here. Come and get us. And obviously there's 3-on-1. And so there's no way Travis Banks can handle that. But he's caution to the wind. He goes after him anyway, and he does pretty good. And then Mountain comes out to aid him. And so it actually turns out into a nice little thing. So then the next match was really good. So it was Fabian Eichner versus Mark Andrews. And Fabian Eichner, this was his first episode. And they started out with like an interview segment where he interviewed, he's like, oh yeah, and I'm going up against one of the best in the league, and so he's like, very nice. The match begins with a handshake, and it's really good. And then, all of a sudden, halfway through the match, Eichner's just like, I'm done with this crap, and just throws, like, Mark Andrews into the steel steps, like, several times, just savagely beats this dude. And then he gets the win, and he, like, wipes his brow from sweat and slashes it onto Andrew's body. He's the heel now.
He's the heel.
It was really good. Then Nina Samuels fought Isla Dawn. It was fine. It was okay match. Then we had Eddie Dennis versus Tucker. Again, all right. Dennis is being pushed as an unstoppable guy, so he's just being pushed that way. And he ends up winning. Then we had Jordan Devlin versus Flash Morgan Webster, and this match was really good. Not as good as like Jordan Devlin's championship match, which honestly, few things can compare to that. But it was okay. It was really good. And Devlin ends up getting the win. Then second episode, we had started with Joseph Connors versus Dan Mulaney. And first I was like, on this match. And it turned out to be really something special. Connors ends up getting the win. We had then Mike Hitchman versus Dave Mastiff. Mastiff has been just rolling his way through the entire roster. And this is no different, but at least this time is actually pretty competitive. Then we had Ligero versus Tyson T-Bone, and Ligero is amazing and fantastic, and he ends up winning. Then Rhea Ripley comes out, and of course she's the new champ, and she comes out and she's like, well, I'm going to give the big opportunity to some kid in the back. And out comes this girl named Candy Floss.
I'm sure that's her real name.
Literally the exact opposite of Rhea Ripley in every way. Like this pink hair, bright colored wrestling attire, like and Rhea Ripley's just like this badass in all black. And so Rhea Ripley does the whole thing. She ends up winning, and she acts like she's playing along with it, like, oh, I'm gonna be nice to you. And of course she beats her down afterwards.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You see the pictures? Yeah.
Holy crap. She looks like a Candyland character.
Yeah, I think that's kind of her shtick. But then we had a final match of the week was Travis Banks versus Wolfgang. Banks was still fighting off a little bit of injury, and that was part of the story of the match. Of course, Wolfgang had the Coffee Brothers on his side, and they kept distracting Travis Banks. But Mustache Mountain comes out, and they take care of the Coffee Brothers, which allows Banks to roll up Wolfgang 1, 2, 3, and Banks gets the win. All right, so then we move on to 205 Live.
All right.
First match was the Drew Gulak versus Brian Kendrick.
Oh man, I've been so
building
excited
this for
this match.
Yeah, I was excited for this too, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
I really did too.
It did get broken up though.
Yeah, just before getting the pin, Jack Gallagher, he hits Brian Kendrick, causes the DQ, and just Drew Gulak and Jack Gallagher just beat down him and Akira Tozawa the rest of the night, and they just destroyed him. But just keeps the feud going, I guess.
Oh, yeah. After that, we had Daivari versus, I'll be honest, I think his name was Robert or Roberto or something. He was some jobber.
It was a squash match, yeah.
Which I haven't really seen a whole lot of this guy, but I mean, he seems like a heel. Like, he seems very much Darwinistic behavior where he's like, hey, I'm better than you because I'm stronger than you.
And then his match was... He beats down the jobber more than he had to.
Oh, yeah. He does the classic where he beats him up, pins him, and then right before the 3, he pulls him up.
Yeah, and Akira Tozawa was watching in the back. But yeah, and then we had the Tornado Tag Match between Lucha House Party and going up against TJP and Mike Kanellis.
This match was awesome.
It was really good. I really enjoyed it. There was a weird thing with piñatas.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Okay, listen. Remember how on Raw we were talking about how the Lucha House Party just gets to cheat and no one says a damn thing?
Yeah.
That's definitely what this feels like. Because they hit someone with a piñata at one point.
Yeah.
They pour a bag of them out onto the ring and
mini piñatas.
And throw someone into them.
Yeah, they do a superplex onto them.
Like...
And granted, they are piñatas. So it probably doesn't hurt that bad. But it is taking a foreign object and using it in the ring. So it probably should have been a disqualification, but whatever. Lucha House Party ends up getting the win. And, good match. I mean...
Yeah, it was alright.
Yeah. Then we had NXT.
Oh, man. Started off with my boy, Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle versus Punishment Martinez, who is a new acquisition to NXT, and he's really good. And the crowd was even cheering for him at the beginning. They had people chanting for Matt Riddle against Punishment Martinez chants, which was really cool.
I mean, I didn't mind Punishment. I'm happy that Riddle won.
Yep, just Riddle gets him in the bro mission.
Oh man, I cannot praise Matt Riddle enough.
He's
I
so good.
love this guy.
He's amazing.
He seems like a mega douche, but he's so cool.
He really is. And then, as he's walking out victorious, behind him appears Cassius.
Oh no!
And he just does that twist, that knockout punch that he does.
Spinning forearm.
Yeah, and just lays Riddle out. So I guess that feud's going to keep going.
I am excited about that.
I am too.
After that, we had the Forgotten Sons versus Jobber Group.
Actually, they're not jobbers.
Oh, they're not?
Yeah, no, it's Mendoza and Carrillo. So basically, these guys are at the bottom of the thing, but they are actually signed by NXT. And this match was actually pretty awesome.
I had never heard of them, so I just assumed. That's my bad.
It's fine. Carrillo was great in it, but yeah. Then we had Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler.
Oh, this match was so damn good.
Ooh, I was so entertained by this.
Oh my god.
Of course, Dakota Kai. It actually was a pretty good match, good back and forth for most of it. Of course, there was some interference from Shayna's buddies, but nothing that would cause a DQ. Shayna gets the submission on Dakota Kai,
and she about passes out.
Yep, and she taps out, and
then they just start mob ruling her. Just all standing around her, kicking her, punching her.
Outruns Io Shirai,
who just dispatches the goon squad with haste.
Yeah, seriously, she looks really good doing it. It's like, wow, they're really making her look strong, which they should. She's amazing.
And it just kind of further solidifies the fact that Dakota Kai, Io Shirai, and I'm assuming, though she didn't show up, Kairi Sane are all a unit now.
Yeah, exactly. Which I'm excited for.
I can't wait until they give them the 3v3.
Agreed.
And then after that, we got the promo of the week.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Tommaso Ciampa comes out, and of course he's pumping himself up. Look at all that did. I just beat Velveteen Dream.
I crushed this person. I crushed this person. I crushed this person. Listen off a list of everybody he's beat.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden the lights go out, and you hear that music start, and out raises from the floor Aleister Black.
Oh man! We were actually right before that happened. We were like, they've got to pull someone out. Who do you think they're gonna pull?
And I was like, well, maybe Adam Cole, although he did just lose at War Games.
And then I kind of just had a little ping, and I was like, oh, it would be cool to see Aleister Black.
And we were lucky enough for that to come true.
I am so excited for this.
So they do that, and Aleister Black says, hey, I am invoking my rematch clause at TakeOver Phoenix.
And he does this Aleister Black thing where he's like, you are the original sin, and I will absolve you of those sins.
Yeah. And then out comes Johnny Gargano.
And it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Wait, you think I'm done with you? Nah, fam.
We're not done until I say we're done.
Yep.
And then you watch Ciampa just kind of whoop out to the side of the ring.
And he grabs it, he pulls his mic up, and he starts stirring.
And he goes, man, I love when you leave Johnny Wrestling in the back and bring out Johnny Badass. And then everybody starts chanting, Johnny Badass. And, oh man, talk about Aleister Black calls Tommaso Ciampa, before Gargano comes out, the Puppet Master. And you can 100% see it here.
You can watch that, yeah.
As he literally is just almost whispering in their ears.
Yeah. And because of his whispering, we get a rematch for Gargano and Aleister Black.
It technically hasn't been confirmed. It didn't really go through any,
can't tease this and then not do it.
It wasn't technically confirmed by the general manager of NXT.
Yeah.
But it's all but confirmed.
Yeah.
Where he's like, you want to fight him again, Johnny. You want to fight Aleister Black. You know where a great place to fight him would be? In a steel cage.
And we lost.
And the crowd went nuts.
Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black in a steel cage.
He's like, you know what?
Match.
Yeah, I will fight you. And he starts hyping himself up and getting heated. Then Aleister Black gets heated back. And they're this close, just screaming in each other's faces. Oh,
I am so excited.
And then he goes to hit the black mass on him, or Gargano dodges
out, and so they have a little face off, and then Ciampa is just looking at his work with a big old smile on his face.
And gets black masked himself.
That was so good.
Oh,
and that's where our NXT ended.
Man,
NXT is so good.
I know I've said it several times on this show, but NXT, more often than not, leaves me at the end of it going, damn, I can't wait till next week.
It really does. I can't. Every time I'm like, I need to watch the next episode.
It's so good.
So, get to our final questions and stuff. Give me a match of the week.
Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. I'm going to go with AJ and The Miz.
That's a good one also. I picked Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler because I have, like, much love in my heart for Dakota Kai.
Mm-hmm.
She is the greatest.
She is awesome.
And I am so happy that she's getting pushed now. And
Same.
there were moments in this match where I was like, is Dakota Kai going to win? I know it's not a title match, so, like, she could.
Yeah.
Oh, it was such a good match. And it's just given her more heat. And I'm so excited about it.
All right, give me the best superstar of the week.
I don't know. There's a couple.
I'll give you mine. Dolph Ziggler.
Mine was actually from Raw too. I was gonna say Finn Balor.
Oh, those are both good. So yeah, obviously.
Pretty much for the same reason. They both had very shining moments.
Yeah, exactly. And frankly, I chose Ziggler over Balor because Ziggler's thing actually legitimately surprised me. Because I don't think anybody thought Ziggler was coming out of that match with a win.
I mean, same. They also are giving Finn. I picked Finn because they're making him a smart heel, and I am so excited to see where this goes.
Go ahead.
They both, Finn and Dolph, both got it for us. Probably because they got off their ass and did something.
Yeah. Give me your worst.
Worst
of the week. Who had the worst week?
Who had the worst week? I mean, I feel like it's fair to can she just have the worst week every week? Like Nia Jax, man.
Damn. That's a good pick. I would actually pick Rhino myself.
Oh yeah.
Just because he loses that quick match and then his retirement isn't even aired and
yeah,
that's not cool. But
he might be okay with it. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know
the inside
what's
story.
going on
That he might have wanted to just have it be kind of like a casual thing. He might not have wanted a big blowout because some people don't. They just want to fade off into the sunset.
Okay. But yeah, I think that's a good pick, Nia Jax, though, because things are rough with her right now.
There's so much stuff. Every time she's on the mic, it just sounds like a third grader wrote it. It sounds so she fumbles over her words so much.
Yeah.
And she keeps running in circles. And I don't know, man.
Yeah. But yeah, we don't have a final question of the week though. But
no, not this week.
Yeah, so that'll be all for us.
All right.
I'm Danny Marvelous.
I'm Nick the Iceman, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.